Okay, hello. I am about to walk through the process of system blueprinting, the TacoCopter example, for this second tutorial on system blueprinting. This is the second tutorial. Even though I'm going to do it by hand, this is a much more complicated example than the first tutorial. And you're going to see the process I would go through to model something by hand. I want you to pay attention to that. I can't promise it's going to be perfect. It is the purpose of blueprinting to elicit the different ideas about how something works and to realize changes that need to be made. So let's begin. First of all, we can see that this particular case is already packaged for us. We've already gone and talked to the company. They've given us this narrative. This would have taken a long time to get all of this. If I start off, I'm going to go ahead and read through what they're talking about. They're talking about a TacoCopter. It's a drone. Imagine someone at their office getting hungry, wanting a taco. Somebody at an office wants a taco. So, process, someone at office orders taco. That's what we're about to graph. I'm going to go ahead and put my initials in. I could put the date in over here. I know that they're beginning at the office. So already I'm getting some details here. Office. They're hungry, they want a taco, they don't feel like going out, the cafe doesn't have tacos. What do? They open our iPhone app. Now, when I'm reading, I'm going to put a little square, and I can just put in here, open the app. They open the app, indicate how many tacos they want. Indicate how many tacos is another one. They pay, that's another one. I'm just putting a rectangle for every verb phrase task. Confirm location, which was narrowed down by GPS. GPS is outside of my business's control, so there's some sub-process there. If, when I see an if, I know there's a diamond. There's a decision here. If location is confirmed as deliverable, that's the condition. App tells them where the copter will land. That's something the app will do. Lets them know we will send them a 5-minute warning. Okay? Next, kitchen receives the order. Employees make it, pack it onto the copter. They confirm the order made. Confirm. That's a decision, matches the order programmed for delivery on the copter. Copter takes off. Computer calculates arrival time using Google Maps service. That's out of our control. That's an outside service, some sort of process, sub-process. When we get within 5 minutes of arrival, the copter tells the server to send a warning. Now, what we can do with this 5 minutes of arrival, we could possibly model that as a diamond. I'll show you that. The app prompts the customer to go to pickup location. We have a new environment here. Once the copter arrives, it drops off tacos and leaves, snapping a picture of the tacos, which gets sent with a receipt to the app. Oh, that's receipt is going to be at least some kind of data to the app through our server. So we've got a couple of different places that's going to hit on the model. It pops up on the app with a button for the consumer to confirm receipt, and we save the picture and receipt in our database in case there are questions about whether we delivered the food, since customer already accepted the terms. We don't worry too much about what happens after we deliver the package. Of course, the weak point in this process is delivery locations. We're always okay. So I've read through the whole paragraph. Now I'm going to come and model it. And so I know that from opening the app to getting the tacos, I've got to get all these pieces in here. Now as I start, they open the app, they open our app, they indicate the number of tacos, open app. What is the app going to do? Somehow this thing is going to show an order form. So they do that. This thing shows the order form back to the consumer. And in order to show the order form, let's see here. Confirm the location, which was narrowed down by GPS already. So something here, they're going to fill out this form, and while they fill it out, the location's already narrowed. So somewhere in here, we've got to have locate customer, and the GPS somewhere is going to do that. It could be connected right here into the order form already. So as soon as they open it, we put it in the order form. This guy indicates choices. All right, once they indicate the choices, they pay and confirm location. So really, I could add in indicate choices, pay, and confirm location, because the app isn't doing anything else in between these steps. So here, the app is going to confirm if the location is deliverable. If the location is delivered, so the app is doing something. The condition that we put in the diamond is not an action. So the action of what has to happen first needs to be in a box. But the question here is this deliverable? And if it is deliverable, we know what happens. If it is deliverable, then the app tells them the copter will land, where it will land, and lets them know we will send 5-minute warning. So, yes, tell landing location and inform 5-minute warning. Okay, and that goes back to the consumer up here. So read confirmation, because ideally we want all of that to happen. Now then, we've got at this point the kitchen receives the order and the employees make it. How did the order get from this app in the front system to the kitchen? The staff that's going to make the order doesn't get a phone call directly from this guy's phone, as far as I would suspect. Somehow we are sending in the order to the back system, and here this thing is going to process and display order. At this point, the computer system, almost any back system, when you send it some data, is going to save it in a database. Now, we happen to know that later on we're going to have receipts, and so we actually are going to go ahead here and show that we've saved this order in a database, because we're going to then display it on a display which the staff is going to look at, and they're going to make the order. So here I am, receives the order, employees make it, packing it onto the copter. and then confirming. So I don't know if the order is exactly right in the narrative. Make order, pack onto copter. I don't know if the copter is ready or not, but we could imagine that there's some sort of process that maintains the copter. This is not in the narrative. So I'm putting this in. It's not necessary because it's not in the narrative. If it were there, it wouldn't be wrong because it's not in the narrative. So either way, they pack it into the copter, and then at this point the copter is back here. So receive order. So here they're going to pack it in. And now they confirm the order made matches the order programmed for delivery on the copter. So the somewhere here, this order database is going to send a location to the copter, apparently, and these guys are going to confirm the match of the order, and they're going to do that by looking at the order display. So I could take this guy and bridge it over so it doesn't touch, and this guy and bring this over so that they're looking at both of these, and then is it a match? So if yes, then what? So if the order matches, the copter takes off. So actually I'm going to take this down here. Take off. Now it's possible in larger models you can split the lines. We could allocate one line to the back server. We could allocate one line to the copter alone. The system blueprinting method we're learning is a very generic system that can be used in many, many places. And so for us, we're going to leave it as a general back systems line. But we're going to see a little change that's about to happen because the copter is going to become a front system in its next task. So now our computer calculates arrival time using Google Maps service. So back here we've got calculate arrival time. And that's going to happen after the copter takes off. And over here, we're going to have map distance and expected arrival, something like that. We could have written calculate arrival time again. This is what's happening through Google Maps. And here, when it becomes 5 minutes, so if the answer is no, by the way, if it's not 5 minutes until, we can just keep calculating the arrival time. And when the answer becomes yes, we're going to tell the app to send the 5-minute warning. So where are we now in our dialogue? So 5 minutes, copter tells server to send the warning to the app. The app prompts customer to the pickup location. Send 5-minute warning. And this is when we want our customer to go to the pickup location. So they were in the office up to here, and here they're going to go to the pickup location. This is a change of scenery. We don't know exactly where that location is, but we do want them to go there for sure. Let's go back and take a look. They've gone. The app prompts customer to go. Once the copter arrives, it drops off the tacos and leaves. So arrive. Now, do we wait for the customer? No. So I can actually put arrive and drop off tacos, because at this point we're going to fly and arrive. This is happening independently of all these other pieces subsequent to the copter taking off. So I'm going to actually connect a line all the way to here, because even if this stuff failed, this would still happen. So there's a split going on here in the process. Both of these things simultaneously get triggered down here from takeoff. Okay, now if we go back over to the narrative, we see here, once the copter arrives, it drops off the tacos and leaves, snapping a picture of the delivered tacos. So after it drops off the tacos and before it leaves, it does something else. That's why I didn't write leaves in this other box over here. So take a picture of tacos. So there we go. We're going to snap a picture of the tacos and send that in here with our order to show that it was delivered, because we're creating data here, digital data. So this gets sent with a receipt to the app through our server. So we might actually put here, let's do it this way. We'll draw a line that's going to get sent to the server. Typically, most apps do send their stuff, process, order confirmation. So we're going to take the picture, and up here, now we're going to notify to confirm receipt. We're going to send this up to the customer. So now we're notifying the customer that they've gotten the package of tacos, and they are going to tell us they got the tacos. Uh-oh. So they tell us they got the tacos. Okay, so at this point, we send them this piece to ask if they got, confirm they got the tacos. Got the tacos. And if the answer is yes. Now our helicopter, our drone is not waiting, right? So we're going to have to do something else. I suppose our app is going to save the answer. We don't really know if it does or not. It could send it as a message straight to the database, or it could send it to a back system. Typically, it would send it to a back system, and the copter is going to leave, and the guy will then eat his tacos. And I've got to bridge this to show that it's not connected, and at the same time, this guy is going to eat, and everybody is happy. And now we have a flow that gives us how to deliver tacos using a drone in this sort of new agey system that Amazon and Google and lots of others, Mark Andreessen and others, are trying to figure out today. That's bound to be a huge area of business in the future. All right, I hope you enjoyed seeing how I modeled that. We will be doing plenty of models in our quizzes, and hopefully you have enough here to give you some leads. If I were going back, I would, as a businessman, I might be looking at what else happens here. What happens if the answer is no? There should be some connection. We don't know from this narrative. Is this the first time we capture data down here? How about we capture data right when they open the order form? Maybe we've carried that data through the process and then finally save it here, but maybe we want to try to catch it earlier, because if they don't do all of this, we don't catch the fact that they didn't. You know, if the answer was no at deliverable, don't we want to save that to figure out if there are certain locations that our customers really want tacos that we don't have a deliverable location? Maybe we need to find a new location near there. But if we don't save that data, we don't have any of that here. So this model gives us a very quick view of how to do that.